Hi everybody, it's my first live video.
Watch him call right when we go on air too. I'm downstairs. Holler at me. See what it is. You spell it
W-A-N-D-E-R-E-R.
Hot second. Ready? Mics is hot. All right, good evening. This is the Source of Inkwell on KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. This is the Source of Inkwell, and I'm your host, Tyrone Gethers Jr. KUAW stands for Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom. We are the urban voice of Kansas City. You can listen to us two ways, KUAW.org and KUAW-LP-FM 98.5. Once we get our tower up, we have been approved for our tower, so we will be on the airway soon. Also, you can listen to us on the TuneIn app. You can just go to tuneinradio.com, type in KUAW, and we should pop right up. You'll hear my melodious voice. Now, you can email us your comments and questions at KUAW.org. You can also email us at KUAW985@gmail.com. You can like us on Facebook at KUAW/LPFM985. You can follow us on Instagram at KUAW_radio. And please call us at 816-599-6893. This is a call-in show. You can hit us up on the phone. And if you are my friend on Facebook, I am going live on Facebook Live right now, and you can come check us out. Today, my guest is someone very special. I just met this young lady last week. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Sydney Reese. Stage name is Wander. I'm from Kansas City, raised here, and I'm just off of school in Colorado for college at the United States Air Force Academy.
All right. Now, Sydney, why don't you go ahead and let everyone know? Is it okay to call you Sydney, or do you prefer Wander?
You can call me Sydney, but if you want to find my poetry, you gotta look up Wander. So.
Gotcha. Okay, so she's in Sydney mode right now. Now go ahead and let everyone know where I met you. Where did we meet?
So you met me at the For the Win Poetry Slam. We had that last week, and it was an excellent environment. I've never been in a place like that. It was my third slam, so I'm not really familiar with the scene, but it was breathtaking. Everybody's talent was phenomenal. And so I met you at that slam.
Yeah, excellent. Now, we're going to dig in more about that slam in a little while, but I want people to actually get to know you. Let's get a little background on Sydney and let's meet the Sydney before she became Wonder.
Okay.
Right.
So I was born in Arkansas. Family's from Arkansas. Moved out here to Kansas City. That's where I was raised mostly. Big into sports. Played a lot of sports when I was growing up. Basketball, track, volleyball, you name it. And I always did write. Started off writing songs though. So music is that's my baby right there.
Okay.
You know? That's where I started. And then that's when Wander came after I went to college. So high school years was mostly just sports and music.
So you actually sing too? Well, I mean, we're not gonna put you on blast.
Okay,
I'm not gonna do you like that. But,
no, I do. I sing well enough to be able to get my songs out there. You know what I mean?
Right. You carry your tune.
And there it is.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Okay. Now, When you said that you used to write music, what type of music did you used to write? Was it gospel, R&B, or?
It was. It's hard to categorize,
Mm-hmm.
Singer-songwriter type music, but I'll say that I was most influenced by people like Tracy Chapman, listening to the Lauryn Hills, but my voice is not that soulful, but
Okay.
I like the music, right?
Yeah.
But just listening to so many different types of music, I think helps you develop your own unique sound. So it's hard to generalize, like, it's this kind of music. But I don't know. I'll have to give you a listen one day, and then you let me know what you think.
Okay, yeah, that'll work. And like I tell, my listeners know that my day job is teaching, and whenever I teach poetry to students, I'm like, have you ever been encountered with poetry? And they're like, well, no. I'm like, yeah. Do you listen to music?
Exactly.
That's all it is.
That's
Same
exactly
thing.
Right.
I mean, they grew up in the same household. So, do you think writing songs influenced you into writing poetry?
I don't know if it influenced my poetry per se, as far as like starting to do it, but it definitely helps a lot. I mean, when you're writing a song, there it is a poetic, art. And when you're writing songs, you're writing so that people can understand what you're saying. You can make people understand, hey, you're not alone in what you're going through. Somebody understands what you're going through. Or just to complain about something. You're relating to an audience, and that's what you're doing in poetry, especially spoken word and slam poetry, like How I Met You.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I think that they run together, but I wouldn't say I started because of music.
Right. Okay, but they do coincide.
Definitely.
Okay. Excellent. Now, let me ask this question.
Okay.
You perform poetry, and you sung in front of people. Which one is more stressful? Which one is more?
Oh, easily music, because I don't know what it is. I get shaky voice every time I sing. Every time I sing in front of people. If it's a group more than like 2 or 3 people, shaky voice, nerves, it's bad.
I got that same problem. But see, when I sing in front of people, and my voice gets a little shaky, it kind of sounds like Luther mixed with
is that what it is? Okay.
Prince and a touch of Stokely on
I'm gonna have to get you on a song or something.
Yeah, So I gotta get real nervous.
But I think, because I get really nervous in general. I mean, I was telling my mom before the slam, I was like, before we even left for the slam, my mom went. That's my best friend. Shout out to my mom.
Mm-hmm.
But, I was, stomach just feeling some kind of way, shaking. I was really nervous, and I always get very nervous before I do anything. So, either way.
Well, a little bit of nerve is always good.
It is.
It helps you stay on your toes.
Yeah.
Like before I teach any class, I try to find something to make me somewhat nervous. And I found out that if I got a little bit of nerve, I stay on my toes. I don't say anything crazy. Don't throw no one's kid out the window.
That's good. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah. It's 2016. Can't do that.
Get away with that.
Especially in Raytown.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be up under the jail next to Jimmy Hoffa's bones.
Uh-oh.
Now you're also in college, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you said you go to the Air Force Academy.
I do.
Okay. So first of all, thank you for your service. Appreciate you. Now, tell us about the Air Force Academy. What led you there, and what exactly are you doing?
What led me to the Air Force Academy? That's a big question. I don't 100% know why I ended up going there, but it's definitely been a blessing to be there. Great opportunities. I've grown so much as a person there. You get to be a leader, and you get to learn how to lead, and sometimes you make mistakes, but I think that's what it's all about, to learn. But it's a great institution, one of the best in the country, and I'm gonna be a pilot after I graduate, so I can't really complain. It's a great outcome, right?
Yeah, it is a great outcome. And you said you want to be a pilot. So what kind of pilot do you want? I mean, you want to fly like the fighter jets, or the what are they called? The passenger airplanes, or the jumbo jets? Yeah.
Oh. Well, whose dream wouldn't be to fly a fighter? Obviously that's everyone's dream. But we'll see where the Air Force takes me, and I'll take what I can get.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, cause like my stepfather, he's a pilot. He flies little bitty airplanes.
Okay.
But I mean, I've always like, whenever I'm driving and I'm in traffic, I'm like, man, if I had an airplane.
See?
You see?
It's nice. There's nobody up there. Well, sometimes there's people, but you don't usually see the other planes.
So I take you don't have fear of heights, though.
I actually do.
I
have a crazy fear of heights, but I don't get it when I'm flying a plane. So that's good, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know. We had a class called Water Survival at the academy, and you jump off of a platform into water. That was scary.
See, sometimes some of we're kind of good. We're best at some of our worst fears. Like think about it. You said that you got a fear of heights,
Yeah.
but you're gonna be flying soon. I'm sure
Right.
you're gonna do great at that.
I hope so.
You know, yeah, of course you are. You know, I mean, and like also with performing too. Like I kind of tell people, you know, sometimes you gotta kind of get out there on faith.
Yeah.
And kind of bait it a little bit. You know, like I remember I was in ROTC and they did something to me that kind of made me just.
Uh-oh.
They had us in one of those helicopters. And you know the one that got the doors that pop open in the back.
Yeah.
So they popped the doors open, and we're all strapped in, and they tilt the helicopter as it's flying. So we all like, let me go and put this lean on the camera so you can see me.
Oh, okay.
We all doing this number, and I'm like, wait a minute now, hold on.
Right.
Are you supposed to be doing that to kids? And the whole time the lady in the back was like, just smiling.
Yeah, that's what we do. Right.
So I mean, I figured, you know, it kind of took me to that. I'm like, well, if she's up in this thing every day with these doors open, then I'm sure she's used to it.
Right.
So I think you got to be immersed in the fear in order to control the fear.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm hoping that one day, you know, stage fright starts to
Mhm.
go away. And, you know, that's why I get on stage, to get that go away.
Yeah, that's good. Now, what else are you involved in besides, you know, being a pilot at the Air Force Academy? I mean, are there other things that you are involved in also?
Yeah, I'm actually on the track team at the academy, so
Okay.
I throw. So that's my sport. I couldn't get away from sports.
Okay.
But so yeah, I throw on the track team. I do discus, I do hammer, and I do weight. So that's
Oh man, that's real good. You know, my the vice principal of my school, her daughter, she throws shot for I forgot what school, but yeah, she throws D1 shot. So
That's awesome.
that's cool.
It's a
Yeah.
good sport.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, well, we also have a sister on the Olympics that wanted to go for America. I mean, she just sat there and just said, you know what, I got this.
Right?
I mean,
Man,
yeah.
Shelly, boy, she can throw.
Yeah, she can. She can throw a house if she wants to.
Right?
Yeah. I feel sorry for whoever make her mad. Now, what are some of your other passions besides the sports and the writing
Other passion.
and of course family? You mentioned your mom.
Yeah, that's my girl. I'd say learning. You always gotta grow.
Mhm.
I don't know if you can count that as a passion, but that's definitely something I'm always wanting to do.
Mhm.
My mind has been open so much, even in the last semester, if you will, like just with everything that's going on in the world and how you can actually affect what's going on in the world, the change that you can make, even if it's small, and learning how to touch people has been one of the coolest experiences I've had. So, you know, even though I've been writing since my freshman year of college, I've learned I can write things and cause change, or at least change of thought in people, have people thinking about things that they wouldn't usually think, or thinking in ways they wouldn't usually think, and that's me being able to grow and something I've been doing. So continuing to learn, continuing to grow, that's something I'm definitely passionate about, and especially how it's going now, I'll never stop if I can help it.
Yeah, going nonstop,
Exactly.
nonstop learning.
That's right.
Yeah, that's good. That's how it is in the Inkwell. We have this little tagline that we say that in the Inkwell, education never runs dry.
That's right.
And that's what it is. I mean, as long as you got breath in your body, you're still learning.
Absolutely.
Even when you sleep, you're still
Absolutely.
learning. So I mean, you can't get away from that. Now, poetry.
Poetry.
Yes, that's what I kind of want to focus on because
Okay.
I mean, you were definitely educating people with your poetry that particular night. I kind of want to. I mean, like when I went there, I was a judge.
Yeah,
And,
you were a
yeah,
judge.
yeah,
I forgot about that. You were a judge.
Yeah, y'all was one of the judges.
Y'all were
And-
y'all were hard on us. You know, y'all had me nervous.
Well, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I mean, now I can't speak for all judges, but I was being as impartial as I can.
Yeah, you have to.
And I noticed that as I was sitting in and all the poets were getting set up, I was able to sit and kind of watch different routines that some of the poets had. You know, I saw some poets that knew each other.
Right.
And then I look over and I see you.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, you were kind of on an island, but at the
Right.
same time, you were cool. But I could tell there were some things going through your mind, and I've been wanting to ask you this, and I said now I have an opportunity to ask. What was going through your mind?
Wow, I'm really nervous. That's what I was mostly thinking.
Mhm.
And then, you know, this is a new scene. Nobody knows me. I don't know anybody. And, you know, and my mom's here. I can't embarrass myself. Like, I gotta give a good show. My mom came to watch, and it's late, so I don't like to be out late. But but honestly, I was just thinking about the poetry.
Mhm.
And it's not, I don't think the performance is why I get so nervous. The performance itself is fine because once I start, you know, I feel good. But it's that you have a responsibility almost when you're on stage and you're in front of people and you are impressing some kind of thought or idea onto people. You want to make sure your message gets across and that it's clear. And it's not up to you how people receive that message, but it is up to you to get it out there. If you got truth to speak, you got to speak it. And that's a big responsibility to have, to get in front of people and educate. Like you said, that's a huge responsibility to educate people and to diversify thought. And it's just, I think that's usually what's going through my mind is like, I got to make sure I say this just right so that they understand what I'm trying to say, and they can take that and do something with it. And I think that's honestly all I'm doing. I am a keep to myself kind of person, even though the reason was because I didn't know anybody in that scene. You know, I'm so new to the scene here, but it's just honestly thinking about my work, like my poetry, going through the lines. I need to say this like this. I need to make sure that they understand this. These are what's important. And that's honestly all it is preparing and trying to get those nerves out of the way so that you can do well.
Yeah, you're right, because like, you know, the good thing about sound, and it's also the bad thing about sound too, is once sound is made, you can't stop it.
You can't.
So you got to make sure whatever you put out is something that's worthwhile.
Definitely.
Because if it's not, what sound is not worthwhile? Noise.
Yep.
So, but yeah, and one thing I can attest to, when you got up on there, I mean, you kind of, I mean, I saw like a little metamorphosis. I mean, I saw this, you know, this very shy individual, and then you went up to the microphone and you kind of, and then Wanderer came out.
That's right. That's how it is.
And I'm like, and I looked and I said, okay, all right. And like, your first poem, after you got that first poem out, how'd you feel? When round one was done, how did you feel after you got your first poem out?
Amazing. And I will tell you the couple reasons why.
Okay.
So I got up there and I realized I had to change my entire lineup. So I found out about the slam that day, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this poem, this poem, this poem. I had it all lined up and ready. Then we got there, and I was like, I don't want to do that one anymore. So I like changed my lineup, so that made me even more nervous. So I ended up doing the poem with, related to Syria first. And so I was really nervous about getting that right since I did change it last minute. So that's one reason I was very happy, very relieved, good. Knocked that poem out, and afterwards, people responded crazy well. I mean, they were listening, and I haven't experienced poetry a whole lot as far as slam goes, and people, I mean, they were listening. They didn't just hear that I was up on stage, they were listening to what I was saying, and I felt like they caught on to every connection that I was trying to make, and they loved it. And that is the greatest thing that a poet can feel, is when people feel their work and they appreciate it, and that's an amazing feeling in itself. And then I go down and I knew my mom was proud, you know, she gave me that was good, you know, and so then I'm feeling great. And then, you know, then the judges, they made me feel good, and then I was just like, all the love. It was, so I felt amazing after my first poem.
And mom was on the front row.
Front row.
Front row clapping it up.
You know it.
Yeah. Now, you're there, okay? And you said this is like, you're still a neophyte when it comes to this, right? Is that fair to say that you're still?
Oh, very.
Now, you have some accomplished poets that's been doing this for years.
Absolutely. And
that's one thing I was thinking. I'm like, wow. I just look at the diversity. You have people who were slam poets. You have people that were not slam poets. You have people that were doing this for years. People who just started, and then there were a couple people who were like, okay.
Right.
You know, no disrespect.
Right. It's true.
Yeah. You know, their style was kind of like, wow, okay. Yeah. So we had a diverse there. So how did you think you fit in with that diversity of them?
I think diversity is good because I don't think I could have been set apart if I had the same story as everyone else there.
There you go.
You know, I think I'm telling you, that was an environment I'm not used to, and hearing amazing stories and breathtaking, you know, perspective on these stories, and that is great. And I was like, man, I don't have a story like that to tell, but I have a story, and it's one that they probably haven't heard. You know, and so that makes it, that's what I enjoy, that's what I like. I can bring something new into this environment that I am new to, you know, and so I wouldn't say that I fit in the sense of I have the same stories or we are similar in that way, but I mean, I'm from Kansas City too, you know, so I have that Kansas City perspective too, but I've been away and I've come back and I have that unique perspective there, and it's art. So you fit in perfectly when you're different. That's what I love about being an artist is it's okay to be different. It's good to be different, and I think that is something that's so important and missing in the world almost, is that people don't understand how beautiful and how necessary diversity is. And so I think I fit in fine because I was different, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, being different is cool. You know, I mean, I stand out like a sore thumb.
See?
Yeah, but it is what it is. Now, I know you got your I'm going to zoom
Oh,
in.
you got
Yeah, you got your materials here.
Works.
And yeah, I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you to share a couple pieces.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and take us to our break and give us one of your poems.
Okay. I'll do the Syria poem because that was the first one I did.
Okay. Let me get comfortable and
Oh, okay.
And if one of my partners is listening, Marlon, I'm doing the lean right now, getting comfortable.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
Bloodshed, children dead, and I'm just wondering why. We cry, we fight, but no one gives a damn about the innocence that's gone away, about the futures that will never see the light of day, about our babies, about the families they leave behind forever changed. In Syria, fighter jets fly overhead and drop bombs like life ain't meant to be valued. Baby, you're a fighter jet, not just the pilot flying it. You're locked and loaded, releasing on command, doing exactly what you were programmed to use. A killing machine that don't ask questions. You know what it is to target a building. You don't understand what it means to kill children in a school in Syria. Fighter jets fly overhead and drop bombs like life ain't meant to be valued. Except we ain't in Syria. And there ain't no jet, just gun. And there ain't no bomb, just bullet. There's a trigger, you pull it, because that's your family they took. And this is your block that you ride for. What the hell you gonna call on God for? This is your cause that you die for. What is this cause that you dying for? Said ain't nothing better to do, yeah? Said there ain't nowhere else for you to go, so if there's a trigger, you pull it. You said it's just another black man, cool it. And when it's my time to go, I go down the blaze of fire in Kansas City. Violence hijacks the minds of our youth, and guns play the role of father, protector. You don't understand the gravity of taking a life because you didn't have the luxury of valuing yours. I don't know about you, but I hate watching the news and seeing my city streets once used as paths for moving forward on, now turn measly trails for death marches. We had a grounds for celebration, now this city, nothing more than a grounds for burial. This concrete jungle is wild. We be beasts in their eyes. Don't let them tell us who we be, KC. Can't you see? When will we begin to at least pretend like life is meant to be valued? We deserve more in this life than death and sorrow. Fighter jet. Baby, disarm that bomb. Put down the gun.
That was tight. That was tight. Oh, Terrence. That was tight. That was tight. Yes, that was good.
Thank you.
Darn good. And that's the poem that you read for round one, right?
That was round one.
Okay.
That was that.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and end round one of this segment, and when we come back, I want you to kind of talk about what inspired you to write that piece. Because I mean, yeah, I was feeling that. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick little commercial break, pay a few bills, and come back in about 3 or 4 minutes.
Is there a way to like pause it?
I don't think you can pause the live. You just gotta finish it.
Oh, finish.
Yeah.
We'll be back.